Hey, hi, hello, welcome back to my channel. Today, I'm building a house for my not-so-berry Sims. It's for my Plum gen. If you even dared to watch my video where I talk about my Sims, which is like 50 minutes long, I was just about to begin the Gray gen, and now I'm already on the Plum gen, and I'm about to start thinking about getting ready to have the Orange gen. But anyways, I'm building their house on that small park lot in Del Sol Valley. I tried multiple lots uh, for this gen, specifically that really big lot in the residential part of Del Sol Valley. I just wasn't liking what I was building. I had a vision in my head that I was gonna have two townhouses for my Plum Gen sim, but I just couldn't get them to look how I wanted it to, and I almost had it right, but I just hated it. So I decided to come and build on this lot because I don't visit this lot, I don't visit the park on this lot, and I was like, my Sims have money. What if they just buy this lot, bulldoze the park, and build their house? So that's what they did. But for the Plum gen, I'm kind of doing a dual gen. I have two Sims that I'm not sure who I want to play with because I like both of them. Their names are Wisteria and Hyacinth because Plum is purple, and I kind of color theme all my Sims by name in this save. And I also like to build the houses in different worlds depending on what the rules for the generation say. I think there's only like two gens that say that you have to live in X amount of worlds or you have to live in this specific type of place, but otherwise I kind of just move them around the world every single time I get a new one. Um, but anyways, these Sims, they're both doctors right now, and I don't know who's going to quit and become an entertainer because that's also part of the rules. I'm not 100% sure. They also live with their mom, Heather, who is part alien. She's not technically part alien if you go in to create a Sim, but she's got neon blue skin, and her grandfather was an alien. Her mom was part alien. So I'm just saying she's part alien, even though Create a Sim says otherwise. Um, and she was married to a neat Sim as per the rules of the challenge, but I could not get them to love each other. They just wanted to fight. They had amazing compatibility and both found each other attractive. But every single morning they woke up, they decided to choose violence. So they just recently got divorced, and he took their two children with them, who are both light blue in color. So he literally cannot escape her. Also, Heather has been divorced before. She was married to Wisteria and Hyacinth's father. That was a very chaotic and whirlwind week for Heather, let me tell you. So he just showed up on her doorstep. She was living in the vampire world in a house there, and he just kind of showed up on her doorstep, and she was thinking about him. So I was like, what if we just flirt a little bit? And then they just started making out on her porch literally 5 minutes later, as Sims do. And they had a very fast romance. I got them to elope. They went to Sulani and eloped on the beach. And then they quickly started having babies. But he wasn't a neat Sim, and he was actually very mean to her. So I made her divorce him. And then she took the kids. Also, he's dead now because he died of old age, I'm assuming. I haven't actually looked, but he's dead. So, on to the build. This house is very purple. I tried to only use the color for the gen unless I simply cannot due to the items just not coming in the right shades that I want to use, which luckily for me, the Love Struck pack had some excellent purple swatches, as you can see in the wallpapers that I have used outside. It is both of the wallpapers that came with Love Struck. I'm actually using the Love Struck windows, I believe, and the Love Struck doors up front. I use the, what's it called? The one pack that I literally can't remember the name of it, but I'm using those tiles in the kitchen. I'm using, I believe those are Get Famous purple tiles or City Living purple tiles that I'm using inside the house. Everything is very purple. I'm also using some plants that I don't normally use, which I think are from the garden, romantic garden stuff. But here in the kitchen, I am using that purple base game swatch for these modern counters. Um, you know, you love to see this color come into action. I actually didn't think I was going to use this color. I was like, I'm going to go with more softer purples. I'll go with like a neutral kitchen or whatever. And I pulled this out and I said, nah, I'm just going to go for it. I'm just going to go for the purple. And I found it to be quite difficult because this game just simply doesn't have enough items with purple swatches. So this purple kind of clashes with the windows and the wallpaper that I use, but also it goes together so well. And honestly, the kitchen and the dining space are like my favorite room in the house. I think it looks really cool. And also for this house, I wanted to go with a lot of modern furniture. So I used, again, those base game counters. And I also used a lot of the Cosmolux furniture. Honestly, I just didn't think I was going to love it all that much. As you can see, I tried to use that funky base game table with like the tiles on it just for something different. But then I thought it would clash too much. So I just went with this simple white table with this base game Cosmolux chairs. And then I get out the bowling night stuff rug with like all the cool swatches and stuff. That rug came in handy so well for this pack. I used it twice. I used it in this like swirly, this swatch right here, this little like circle. That's such a pretty rug. It's hidden behind the bowling pin part of the rug. That's so pretty. I love it so much. But as you can see, there is a giant skylight in the kitchen, so I had to unfortunately remove the chandelier above the dining table. So the only hanging lights are above the island, and then I use the modern like light from City Living, this light right here. And something else that I really struggled with, not only was it the curtains, which by the way, we have a lot of purple curtains. It's just they weren't the style that I wanted to go for. So I just end up using the base game curtains that got the swatch update. I don't know if this swatch was already on these curtains or not. It might have been. I might not be using the curtains that got the swatch update. But I use these curtains in almost every single room. But what I actually had trouble with was just finding things to decorate. There's not a lot of just like regular purple decorations, as you can see in the catalog. They're very not like everyday items you would see like in a house or whatever. But I kind of just went for it, I guess. So there's an incense, there's I guess that would be like a hedgehog planter, those books from City Living, another stack of books and some tissues. Not really things that you would see as decorations in a kitchen, but like I just kind of went for it. And I mean, yeah, I could try to not use purple and go with just some like regular colored things, but I felt like it wasn't in the spirit of the Not So Berry challenge if I didn't try and force myself to only use purple items. But for this house, I tried to make the scarce design and clutter work for my Sims. Like, it is very, very scarcely decorated. It doesn't look like it's lived in all that much. So I tried to fit it with my Sims' personalities. So seeing as they're both doctors, they kind of don't have time to decorate their house. My Sims also never went to prom. Every single generation minus the mint gen, because she had to start out as a young adult, they all went to prom multiple times. Specifically the red gen, she went to prom with 5 different women. That was exciting. Loved her. She was a mess. And then her daughter went to prom a few times. And then Heather went to prom a few times, but her kids didn't go to prom because they were working at the local fast food place every Saturday night and were so focused on mastering so many skills. Like, they are very knowledge, skill, work focused that they just never slowed down to enjoy life. They never slowed down and thought, what do I want my space to look like? How do I want to decorate? So they just kind of, their house is just kind of empty. Their mother, while she was a very devoted parent, she didn't really discourage them from studying, but she also didn't really encourage them to have fun. They never really went on vacations or anything because their mom was very, I need to be a good parent. The only thing that they did together was have Sunday family movie night. Other than that, she was like, I must be a good parent, but also I need to work on my career so my kids can have a really good life. And so she's like the she is a celebrity fitness trainer, and the only thing that her kids kind of picked up from her is that they needed to have hobbies, but they want to be good at multiple hobbies. Um, but they're also struggling to find just like the one hobby to have, so they're very focused on trying to multitask and do a bunch of hobbies at the same time, which for the Plum Gen, they have to master the dance skill plus 2 other skills of my choosing, and I think it's either level 8 and 6 other skills or level 6 and 8 other skills. Either way, I feel like having kids and starting a family for Wisteria and Hyacinth is just literally on the back burner. And also, I think I'm kind of leaning towards Hyacinth being the main heir, simply because Wisteria, when he grew up with like this certain hairstyle, and just like the way that he looks like Dr. McDreamy, you know, if you watch Grey's Anatomy, or George Clooney from ER. He's kind of giving those vibes, like hot doctor vibes, and honestly, I don't want to take that away from him. um, but moving back to the build, I kind of pretty much talked through the living space. I used the bowling rug again, but in this swatch to bring some more colors into the space, and I think it looks really good. I used this modern sofa and chair set that I don't normally use. And then I also put that purple tree back there because, again, not a lot of purple plants. I also put a chess table in here, and then I forget later that I have a chess table in here, so there is a chess table upstairs on the 3rd floor balcony, which, I mean, I guess is okay. You can have multiple Sims playing chess at the same time. There's also a speaker down here because, you know, your Sims love to turn the radio on and listen to music when they're doing literally anything. And then I just look for some other clutter. Again, I'm struggling so hard to find clutter for this build, but we're going to be moving on into the office here, and this is where I started to slow down after my first day building this house. I started to build this when Wisteria was a child sim, so I didn't know what skills they were going to perfect. I also didn't know if I was going to have him be the heir or not. So I had no idea what I wanted to put in this office space, but I put the basic like computer, bookshelf, lamp, plant type of thing, but I also put a keyboard in here because he did have a little bit of a piano skill going for a little bit. What I did in the old house is I put a lot of like skill based items around and kind of just had like, you know, autonomy on, and just kind of was seeing which skills they gravitated towards the most, because I wanted them to pick out the skills. I didn't want to like control them and force them to do certain skills. I wanted to see which ones they gravitated towards the most. So I put the keyboard in here because he had some keyboard skill. Also later on, I don't think I show it, I put a guitar in here eventually because when I come back to this build, Hyacinth has really good guitar skills, which will be really good for the entertainer career, which is another reason why I'm kind of leaning towards her, because she's already got the guitar skill pretty much mastered and down. And then also in here, I put the My First Pet Stuff couch in here because it was purple. I also had a cat on it. My Sims never have any pets because I simply find them super annoying. While very cute in this game, I find them really annoying. I have aired my grievances so much about pets in this game. I kind of wish they were like how they were like in The Sims 3, where you could kind of control them so they could be less annoying. But I'm going to be moving on from the office space here, and we are going to be heading outside because I do come back to the office space later because this is a brand new day for me. I'm coming to this with fresh eyes. So out here in this courtyard, I just put a basketball hoop, a grill, and a bar for one of them to work on mixology. One of the things that I also did, I was trying to pick skills that were easy to obtain, but also ones that I don't normally try to build up because it's easy to go for fitness, wellness, and painting. And yeah, I will probably still do one of those or multiple of those, but I wanted to also include skills I don't normally work on, and mixology is one of them. I've tried multiple times to have like Sims in the mixologist career. I do have a save that I haven't touched in a while where the sim is a mixologist. He's also making wine on the side. But I just kind of wanted a different skill for them to work on. Also, I found that the romance skill is super fast and easy to build up because all you have to do is be romantic and go on dates to gain that skill. Like both of my sims, I think are both level 3 or 4 in the romance skill right now. So that's pretty cool. But this house has 4 bedrooms and 4 bathrooms. Originally, I had planned on making one of the bedrooms for the 2 youngest kids, but Heather and her husband just couldn't get their crap together, so they were not invited to live here. So I ended up turning that 4th bedroom into a gym slash computer space. And it's like a space computer room, and I say space computer because it's the one from one of the earlier gens, which this family has accumulated not only a lot of money, but just like a lot of stuff. When I go in later to add all the family pictures and like career rewards, you will see that they have a lot of money. But I do get rid of most of it because I did move Wisteria in here for free when he grew up before Hyacinth, because I wanted to see if he would start working out his life story on his own, which he kind of did. He started dating someone. She turned into an elder, so now I just think Wisteria has an elder. He is just like really attractive to elders. So I think he's just gonna date elders from now on. Not to be like dating elders just to take their money, but hey, if they die, they die, and if I get their money, I get their money. Um, but I used the free real estate cheat to move him in. So when I move in his sister and his mother, I do go in and I take away what the house costs. But it was still not all of their money. I think they still went, after I ended up doing it, they still had like 150,000 simoleons. Like, I don't know what it is, but I just can't build houses that take up all my Sims' money anymore, especially when they're like this rich. It's very difficult. Like, you have to be on a big, massive lot. And I tried, but like I said, I just couldn't get a house to work. So I was like, you know what? What if some of their money just went to buying this park just so they could build a really fancy, modern house? But here I am working on the deck right outside of Hyacinth's room. It's got 2 glowing dance floors. It's got some lounge chairs. It's also got some garden pots because maybe I will have one of them work on the gardening skill, which that skill is kind of difficult to get up a little bit. I am working on the Reaper's Rewards thing, and the gardening skill is quite difficult. I had to move all of her plants into a greenhouse just to get them all to grow. Because if you're in the wrong season, that Reaper Rewards thing takes forever. Even the fishing, like there was the first week was like kind of difficult, but it was okay. And then the second week was super easy. I was done with it in like 40 minutes, and I was like, okay, well, I guess I'm done with her this week. I haven't done this week's yet. I don't think I'll get to it until next week, I believe, which is unfortunate because I kind of wanted to get it done roughly when you're supposed to get it done and not take that extra week to do it, but it is what it is. I kind of wanted her to be almost done with it by the time the Life and Death pack comes out because I will be using my Reaper Reward sim to play with that pack. I'm super excited about it. The gameplay trailer actually came out, and I am going to watch it after I finish doing the voiceover for this, so I'm really excited to see the gameplay and all that stuff. But here I am just finishing up the top bedroom. This is going to be Wisteria's bedroom. Again, super bland, not a lot of decoration. Also, I mostly just don't know what to put in here at this point. I think through gameplay, and once I figure out who's permanently gonna live here and who's not permanently gonna live here, I think I might rearrange it. Also, one of them's gonna have children. I don't know if they're gonna have multiple or if they're just gonna have one. I think my heir might only have one kid, and then the other sibling can have as many kids as they want. I really don't care. But now here I am. I'm adding all of the career rewards. We have a budget now. That's all the stuff that the Sims own. And here's the gym in space, computer space. And each time I build a house for one of these gens, I kind of pick and choose what I want to put up in the house. In the last house, there were pictures everywhere. Like upstairs, the entire wall by the stairs was just covered in pictures, and it like wrapped around. So like the entire upstairs was just covered in stuff. But here in this house, there's like a lot of empty wall space, but not a lot of empty wall space. So there's like pictures clustered in certain spots, so it doesn't look like it's overcrowded. And again, with the whole, they don't really know how to decorate a space, which is why I have those paintings leaning up against the wall right there. It was kind of like they were gonna eventually put them up, and then they just like forgot about it, so now it just sits in their entryway. But here is where I'm starting to hang up a lot of the photo collages. I go into Heather's room and I put down all of her trophies in her little trophy case. She's got a cheerleading trophy from making it to the top of the cheerleading career in high school. And here's a painting that her late mother painted her, which there are going to be 4 gravestones out front. It is going to be the green gen Fern, the red gen Ruby, and then the yellow gen. Now, one of the things I try to do, and I do mean try, is get a picture of the previous gen as an elder and use that large and small photo collage as a memorial for them. Well, my yellow gen didn't make it to an elder, and I even tried to save her, and the Grim Reaper told me no. She died from laughter. I don't know what she thought was so funny. This is what happens when I leave my Sims to their own devices. I was literally just minding my own business. Heather was literally on her last day of being pregnant with, I'm pretty sure it was Hyacinth, and she was going to go into labor any moment. And then all of a sudden the camera just jumps upstairs and her mom is dying of laughter in the gym. Just absolutely hysterical, dying. I was so upset. Like, I was actually I was flabbergasted. I literally didn't know what to say. I was just watching it happen. And then I tried to get Heather to plead for her mother, and the Grim said, "She's dead. Walk away." I was so genuinely upset. And then Heather left the room and then she went into labor. It was the most chaotic 2 minutes I have ever played this game. And I have had so much crap happen to me in this game. That was just absolutely wild. So Hyacinth was born the day that her grandma died, so that was probably a bad omen for her life. She never got to meet one of her grandmas. Heather's other mother, who was Judith Ward's daughter, she just recently died. She died of old age, thank God. And to commemorate Judith being in my family's bloodline, I basically just adopted her name. So everybody, since I found out about Judith being in my family's bloodline, have been Barry Ward. So that's pretty nice. But yeah, I have basically used this video to ramble about my Not So Berry challenge. I didn't even really talk about the build, and for that I am very sorry. I am super out of practice with my voiceovers. I am also trying to crank out a second one before I leave for the Eras tour. I'm actually supposed to leave in like an hour, and I have still got to finish this voiceover, make the thumbnail, and upload the video. So I got a lot going on. And by the time that this gets scheduled to post, if I can manage to finish it, I will be back from the Eras tour. I hope I had fun. I probably cried a lot. It's kind of bittersweet going to my very last Eras Tour show. I've been to 2 already. This is my last one. I don't know how to feel about it. I probably won't know how to feel about it until Sunday, and then I will probably be bawling my eyes out Sunday night after it's over when she sings the last few notes of Karma, because I'll realize that I am probably not going to see her in concert for a while. Because I hope she takes a well-deserved break, because Taylor deserves it. Honestly, I hope she disappears. I hope she takes a really long break, takes a long vacation, her and Travis do whatever. I hope I only see her at football games. But yeah, uh, we are basically at the end of the video. I'm just showing you guys pictures of my Sims now. That was my Heather and her siblings. Basically, there's a picture of one of her moms, RIP, and this is both of her moms as young adults in Sulani hanging out. They're both dead now, which is very sad. And then there's Wisteria on the couch there in his swim trunks, or it's his swim trunks, right? Or his pajama pants, one of the two. Just chilling with his shirt off as he does. But this frame right here was supposed to be for Marigold, but again, there she is. She died. So I'm just putting pictures of the siblings in there. I'll probably use this for Heather's is hanging in her room, so this will probably be either Hyacinth or Wisteria's picture frame. But we are basically at the end of the video. Again, I'm sorry for the rambles and not really talking about what's happening on the screen with the build. But I hope to see you in the next video, whenever that one may be. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye!